kiddos, we are back today for chapter 7. It's actually the same day, right, for me, but it's a different day for you. And so what we're going to talk about today is Evan. This chapter, just like last chapter focused on Jesse, this chapter is going to focus on Evan today. So here's the question that we're going to be asking ourselves. Evan had a really good plan last chapter, right? Sell lemonade cheap so that they feel good about it and they give you extra money, right? Today, he's going to come up with a different plan. He doesn't want to do the same thing twice. So, my question for you today, what is Evan's plan for selling his lemonade? Does it work? Why or why not? So you're going to tell me, yes, it works because, or no, it didn't work because. So make sure you have that because. Make sure you tell me why it did work or why it did not work. I'm not making you use race today, but I do need a lot of detail from the text, okay? All right, we are in chapter 7, page 87. Location, location, location. Location, noun, real estate term that refers to the position of a piece of real estate as it relates to the value of that real estate. Now, what I want you to think about, if you're starting your business, location, location, location means where is the best place for your business to be? So let's think about a lemonade stand. If I live on a dirt road, okay, there's not very many houses around me. If I live on a dirt road, is it better for me to sell my lemonade in front of my house where not very many people pass by? Or I live in Wynn. Is it better for me to go down by maybe the junior high where there's the big walking track and people are always outside walking? What is the better location for me to make the most money? Okay, so let's see what Evan thinks about location in this chapter. Evan was in trouble. So far, he'd earned $47.11, which was more money than he'd ever had in his whole life. But today was Friday. There were only 3 days left. 3 days to beat Jesse. He needed to earn almost $53 to win the bet. And that meant each day he had to earn, Evan tried to do the math in his head, 53 divided by 3. 53 divided by 3. His brain spun like a top. If you want to have some fun, pause this video and see if you can do 53 divided by 3. He didn't know where to begin. He went to his desk, pulled out a piece of paper, his basketball schedule from last winter, and flipped it over on the back. He found a stub of a pencil in the bottom of his desk drawer, and on the paper he wrote 53 divided by 3. He stared and stared at the question on the page, at the equation on the page. The number 53 was just too big. He didn't know how to do it. Jesse would know how, he muttered, scribbling hard on the page. Jesse could do long division. Jesse had her multiplication facts memorized all the way up to 14 times 14. I don't even have them memorized that high. And I'm 27. Jessie would look at a problem like this and just do it in her head, snap. Evan felt his mouth getting tight, his fingers gripping the pencil too hard as he scribbled a dark storm cloud on the page. His math papers from the school were always covered in X's. Nobody else ever got as many X's as he did. Nobody. What does that mean? His math paper was always covered in X's. Think to math class with Miss Trista. She hands a paper back to you. How do you know if you got something wrong? It has an X on it, right? So Evan's saying his paper is always covered in X's, which means he doesn't often get the right answer. So how do you think that makes Evan feel? Draw a picture. Mrs. DeFazio's voice floated in his head. She had always reminded him to draw a picture when he couldn't figure out how to start a math problem. A picture of what? He asked in his head. Anything, came the answer. Anything? Yes, anything, as long as there were 53 of them. Dollar signs. Evan decided to draw dollar signs. He started to draw 3 rows of dollar signs. So he's drawing them like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. So see, he's making 3 rows. So at first it was just 1, 2, 3, and then he's going again and adding the next one. So that way he's going to do 53 across, and he'll see how many he has. You've done things like this before. By the time he had reached 53, his page looked like this. There were $17 signs in each row, and then those 2 extra dollar signs left over. He drew a ring around the 2 extra. $17 and 2 left over. Evan stared at the picture for a long time. He wrote Friday next to the first row, Saturday next to the second row, and Sunday next to the third row. So he's telling himself, this is how many I need to sell each day. Evan looked at the picture. It started to make sense. He needed to make $17 on Friday, $17 on Saturday, and $17 on Sunday. And somewhere over the next 3 days, he needed to make 2 extra bucks in order to earn $53 by Sunday evening. Evan felt his heart jump in his chest. He had done it. He had figured out 53 divided by 3. That was a 4th grade problem. That was 4th grade math. And he hadn't even started 4th grade. And no one had helped him. Not Mom, not Grandma, not Jesse. He'd done it all by himself. Where am I? It was like shooting the winning basket in double overtime. He hadn't felt this good since the lemonade war had begun. But $17 a day? How was he going to do that? Yesterday, he'd made $45, but that's because he'd had help and free supplies from his friends. They weren't going to want to run a lemonade stand every day, especially on the last days of summer vacation. He needed a plan. Something that would guarantee good sales. The weather was holding out, that was for sure. It was going to hit 95 degrees today, a real scorcher. People would be thirsty, all right. Evan closed his eyes and imagined a crowd of thirsty people all waving dollar bills at him. Now, where was he going to find a lot of thirsty people with money to spend? An idea popped into Evan's head. Yep, it was perfect. He just needed to find something with wheels to get him there. So Evan's thinking about what? Location, location, location. Where is the best place to sell that's going to have a lot of really thirsty people, okay? It took Evan half an hour to drag his loaded wagon to the town center, a distance he usually traveled in less than 5 minutes by bike. But once he was there, he knew it was worth it. It was lunchtime, and the shaded benches on the town green were filled with people sprawling in the heat. Workers from the nearby stores on their half-hour lunch breaks, moms out with their kids, old people who didn't want to be cooped up in their houses all day. High school kids on skateboards slooshed by. Preschoolers climbed on life-size sculpture of a circle of children playing Ring Around the Rosie. Dogs lay under trees, their tongues hanging out, pant, pant, pant. Evan surveyed the scene and picked his spot, right in the center of the green, where all the paths met. Anyone walking across the green would have to pass his stand. And who could resist lemonade on a day like this? But first, he wheeled his wagon off to the side, parking it halfway under a huge rhododendron. Rhododendron? I think it's that, rhododendron. It's like a, I'm not 100% positive, I think it's like a covered awning. Then he crossed the street and walked into the Big Dipper. The frozen air felt good on his skin. What do you think what do you think they sell in this shop if the name of it is Big Dipper? Make an inference here. The frozen air felt good on his skin. It was like getting dunked in a vat of just melted ice cream. And the smells, oh, a mix of vanilla, chocolate, coconut, caramel, and bubblegum. He looked at the tubs of ice cream, all in a row, carefully protected behind a pane of glass. The money in his pocket tingled. He had plenty left over after buying 5 cans of frozen lemonade mix with his earnings from yesterday. What would it hurt to buy just 1 cone? Or a milkshake? Or maybe both? Remember, Evan's not good at saving money, right? He spends it as soon as he gets it. "Can I help you?" asked the woman behind the counter. Yeah," said Evan. He stuck his hand in his pocket and felt all the money. Bills and coins ruffled between his fingers. Money was meant to be spent. Why not spend a little? Evan could just imagine how good that ice cream would feel sliding down his hot throat. Creamy, sweet, like cold, golden deliciousness. He let his mind float as he gazed at the swirly buckets of ice cream. The sound of laughter brought him back to earth in a hurry. He looked around. It was just some girls he didn't know at the water fountain, but they had sounded like Megan Moriarty. Can you please tell me how much a glass of lemonade costs? $3, said the woman. Really? Said Evan. That much? How big's the cup? The woman pulled a plastic cup off a stack and held it up. It wasn't much bigger than the 8-ounce cups Evan had in his wagon. Wow, $3. Wow, sorry, the wind blew. Wow, $3. That's a lot, said Evan. Well, thanks anyway. He started to walk to the door. Hey, said the woman, pointing to the ice cream case. I'm allowed to give you a taste for free. Really, said Evan. Then, could I taste the strawberry slam? The woman handed him a tiny plastic spoon with 3 licks worth of pink ice cream on it. Evan swallowed it all at once. Gulp. Okay, kiddos, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have to stop the video because something just fell on top of a duck in the duck coop and I've gotta go check on him. The next part of the video will be right after this. We're gonna pick up in the exact same spot. I'm sorry.